Welcome back to another special edition of the Shark Show. Courtney, Nate, great to be back.
Great to be here.
Yeah.
We're looking at China virus, City of Granbury, I guess you could say document center, Facebook, webpage. And what Nate found on the Facebook page was a public health advice for winter holiday gatherings. No empty seats 2021. And this actual document, you can see it on the video, comes from the Dallas County Public Health Committee. And Dallas County, now who's their judge, county judge in Dallas County?
That is Democrat Clay Jenkins.
That's right, with a big D, not R, but a big D. And a big R, county and cities using this for what?
I would call it a little propaganda, maybe some fear-mongering.
Could be. Now, going through this, Courtney, it has several pages in here, and it references everything from traveling to celebrating. What did you see that really stood out to you?
One of the biggest ones that stood out to me is, for the Thanksgiving gathering, if you're going to have to eat inside, just to eat in silence. So everyone can gather together, just don't talk to anyone. I thought that was pretty over the top. It mentions when drinking beverages. So you're going to be gathering around for your Thanksgiving feast, eating and drinking. I know when we go to restaurants, we take our masks off when we sit down, but apparently when you're in your own home, you need to leave those on and use a straw inserted under your mask when you're drinking a beverage. So even though it's okay to take your mask off when you're in a restaurant, it's not okay when you're in your own home.
Right. And we all three understand that COVID is here. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to go away. The flu's not going to go away, and certain other things aren't going away. What have we done, for hundreds of years? We've protected ourselves, right? Personal responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even in here, it says if you're preparing the food, you're supposed to wash your hands. I mean, don't you do that at any meal if you're preparing food?
I would hope so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just common sense, personal responsibility. But yet, the city of Granbury decided they need to put Dallas County Democrat huge exposure thing on here for the citizens of Granbury because the citizens of Granbury are too stupid to know what's going on.
That's certainly what it implies.
Yeah, it really does.
The safest approach, according to this document, is to defer Thanksgiving this year and other holiday gatherings with any individuals who do not live under the same roof as you do. So if, you're planning on seeing your aunts and uncles or maybe a grandparent or something like that, they want you to not cancel Thanksgiving, just defer it to next year. And, it's an interesting choice of words there, I think.
Well, I think they're kind of gaining some speed and momentum to say, let's do this same thing at Christmas.
Yeah.
And, so they call it the holiday season. And I think this is going to move well past Christmas, too. And, you also mentioned earlier, when you look at the celebrating aspect of it, when you have family members coming in, that, of course, they're your family. You've known them all your life. You're supposed to do air high fives. And I don't know what else they call it in there, but no hugs, no nothing, no contact. Yet you can go to a restaurant, sit down, and use the menus and everything else.
Right.
Aunt Deborah, I'm sorry I won't be able to hug you this Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes, you will. Yeah. Yeah.
Was
it's just a suggestion, right? They're saying it's a suggestion. But what they're really doing is they keep putting out this, and this is propaganda. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know what to do. We know what personal responsibility is. But what they are doing is they're setting up the younger generation, and they're setting up the younger generation to make them feel like this is how they say the new norm.
Right.
And it's going to be up to us to say, no, this isn't the way it's got to be, because what's going to happen is they're going to say, this is the way it's supposed to be. And they're going to continue this on through all the other holidays. And what we put up with, this generation, is the norm for the next generation.
Right.
Going from what they put on their Facebook, the City of Granbury, now let's move to what is actually on their website through the Texas Medical Association that they list. And there's a listing in there. If you go to their granbury.org, you can see what's on there under COVID. Mm-hmm. Nate, what did you see about that?
Well, I noticed all the fun stuff is high risk. So if you're planning on celebrating New Year's Eve or going to church, maybe a homecoming dance or anything of the like, even singing Christmas carols is high risk apparently.
So here it says attending an outdoor sports event is moderate, but then if you have to do your Thanksgiving, they recommend doing it outside. So it's like these double standards throughout the entire
With
thing.
masks.
Yeah, right.
Right.
A lot of contradictions there, and it's this is what happens when government gets too big. They can't even keep up with their own rules, and I think we saw that on display at the Jewel Ball the other day, wasn't there?
Well, there was pictures on Facebook, and it goes back to the same thing. Do as I say, not as I do, and that's your elected officials at their best. If you want to go out in public where people aren't wearing masks, great. If you don't, stay home. If you're afraid, stay home.
Right. It's an individual choice. You have the right to do your own risk management and risk assessment. If you are aware and you're informed, then you have that right as an individual to decide what risk you are or are not willing to take.
But what the citizens don't like is, Nate, you mentioned like the Jewel Ball. It could have been any event. But you look at Facebook, and then you look at your elected officials that are telling you, wear a mask, go get tested, do this whole regimen of things, and they don't follow what you're telling them to do. But, it's good enough for you, but not for me.
Right.
You get down to the high risk area, and you look at attending an indoor cultural or religious event, which is a good way to say what, Nate?
Going to church.
Amen. Going to church. High risk. So you better watch out. And we better teach our kids that high risk, can't go to church, right?
Yeah, you want to be safe, don't you?
Yeah, let's tear apart the family and Christianity and everything else.
And, I can't help but just laugh at some of this stuff because we've been saying for a long time that they're trying to tear down the church and they're trying to tear down the family unit. And here we see it from even local government in Granbury, Texas. And frankly, it's just sad. Granbury deserves better, and maybe in the next few years, we will get better.
And as the time goes through this holiday and you go to the restaurants and you're sitting there talking with 30, 40, 50 people spread out inside, just remember, you can talk like that, but you can't go caroling and singing outside because you can't sing.
Yeah.
Well, I can't sing, but still, there's a difference.
Right. And something else to consider too is this, children are still going to school. So we're teaching them it's okay. And if you're still going out to restaurants to eat, that's great. But here we're laying the foundation and a groundwork to teach them that it's not safe to go to church. We can go out to eat. We can go to school. We can do all these other things. But church is high risk. It's not safe. So the foundation you're setting there and you're laying there with your children is definitely something to consider. And what is it that you're teaching them through that behavior? You're teaching them, where are you putting your faith? Are you putting your faith in God, or are you putting your faith in something else, in the government?
And it shouldn't be the government, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, we didn't have time to cover everything from these two documents, but if you head over to the City of Granbury City Hall Facebook page, you can get a few laughs in for yourself over there. It's kind of funny what they're trying to push on us. And of course, as always, remember to like and share us on Facebook and other social medias.
Thanks, Nate. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time. And remember, shopping online and building a snowman is the same risk. So when you build your snowman this holiday season, just remember you're going to be safe according to the City of Granbury. But what we like to do in our family is plenty of hugs and happy Thanksgiving. Shark Show out.